Yeah, yeah, that's the name. And she's doing her scratch off things. Cause I gave the one to the super because he was worried about his appearance. I should loop. Start again. I know you're off the show. Sports Talk Live for the culture. We are here today. How you doing, fellas? We got any mute? Y'all got mute? Oh, y'all can unmute yourselves. Ask to mute. That's me.
Didn't see that. Didn't see that. Yep.
That's
Just
that's
popped up.
that's on the production engineer. That which is me. That's my faux pas. You going on? Hey, if you make a mistake, admit it. There's nothing wrong with that. Coach Greg, how you doing?
Good man. Good man. Glad to be here, bro. Glad to be here.
Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm here, man. Chilling.
Duke, how you doing, man?
Oh, we good. Sports talk, baby.
Sports Talk Live for the culture. We're getting out of August. We're headed swiftly into September. And one of the things that has been a hot topic in which we have discussed, had numerous conversations on, was COVID-19 and all the situations, just in the sports world, but just in the world in general. This week, COVID-19 has taken a back seat to social injustice. A lot of things have been going on in the leagues in reaction to the Jacob Blake shooting, of Jacob Blake, which transpired. And a lot of people reacted to him unarmed. Man was shot 7 times in the back. Police are saying there was a knife in the car. People were saying, uh, did the level of force meet the level of threat? It's a story that's been going on and on and on, and we've been dealing with for quite some time in the mainstream here, with the George Floyd uh, murder that transpired in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and how it's put a bullseye on social justice and inequalities in the policing of some communities, moving forward. I just want to jump into it. And what were your thoughts on the reaction? It started with the Milwaukee Bucks. They refused to play. Then it spread. Baseball teams refused to play. Some NHL teams games were postponed. Um, WNBA came out with 7 bullet holes in their shirt. What was your guys' take? I'll start with you, Coach Greg. What was your take on this whole situation, the reaction at NBA, which they're coming back to play? Um,
Man, it was a power move to essentially strike, is what it was. It was
mm,
a power move. And then, you heard the discussions about, maybe they're just going to cancel the whole season. You start hearing that come out. They're having all these backdoor meetings and things of that nature. And then next thing you know, a day later, oh no, we're going to play.
mm,
I was a little disappointed in that. I thought they made a stance saying, "Hey, look, man, we're just tired of this." But when they made the stance, to me, they didn't make a stance with any thought. Like, what do you want?
mm,
Okay, so we're not going to strike. So this is what we want. We want, you know, well, you got to let the due process play out with
mm,
regards to with the incident with Blake. But you got to get something out of it. You got to get something out of it. You just can't just stop and not get anything out of it. Like,
mm,
are the cops being charged? Where are we at with the judicial system with regards to these guys? How's this going to be handled? Who do we need to get in contact with? So on and so forth. But see, now they did double back and come up with a plan
mm,
and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. And they should have had that. To me, they should have had that right from the beginning, because you just have to have a plan. And if the plan is to have these guys charged and brought up on charges, we're not coming back till this happens. Because justice should be somewhat swift. But at the end of the day, you know, it takes time. I mean, you can lock somebody up and they can get out on bail, but at least something happened. And that's my whole thing with it. They just needed a better plan in the beginning. So
Um, me on with it. I was fine with it. I think it was good. I think it was most people wanted more, but I think it was something. And now you know where it can be. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we did this, but now you know what we can end up doing. We can end up shutting down. And now you see it's not just us, because in one of my group texts, it was the people that's going to shoot a black innocent black man don't care about basketball, in which they may have been right with that. Now, but when you got the NHL behind you, or the MSL, you got them behind you, you got baseball behind you. Now it's different. Now that's their that's what they're into. So I think and now they see everybody's on board. Maybe it may open people's eyes that just don't want to see it. That want to keep screaming, all lives matter. And don't want to see the actual, what's being happening. So I think it was good to do it, because now you see what can happen, and if we did this, you see where it can go. Like, we did shut down. Like, okay, it was a shutdown for a day, but look what it did. It still did something. So, and if it continues on happening, we we're gonna end up quitting completely, you know. So, and I think that part was good. So I think that was good what they got out of it. You know, could they shut down more? Not really. Why? You know, I don't see why shut down more. I think it's levels. You know, this is a definitely a step up from you know what Kaepernick was doing. Kaepernick took the knee, you know, but he still played. You know, so okay, now we just not gonna play at all. You know, so the team still played, but the 49ers still played every night, even though Kaepernick took a knee. So you know, now we're not gonna do nothing. We're not going out there. So put on some old movies and figure it out because y'all not gonna be able to watch us play. You know, we're not gonna play and then all those things is happening. You only care about watching us entertain you, but you don't care about us as human beings. So I think that it was good. You know, I think that it can be more next time. It'll be probably more next time. You know, because it's going to continue on happening. I don't see it just stopping tomorrow. You know, I don't see innocent black men getting killed just stopping tomorrow because there's too much fear in these cops for some odd reason. You know, they fear the black man and they killed more than us than we killed them easily. You know, but for some reason. We're the feared ones, you know, for some odd reason, you know, we're the ones that's feared, you know, so every little thing is oh, I got to shoot. You know, well, no, can he tie a shoe? You know, like his shoe is untied. You know what I mean? You walking up on it, you driving. He bent down to tie his shoe. You want to shoot? You know, I don't. You know that part. I don't get it. I don't get why the black man is so feared by the whites.
Go ahead, Duke.
When you do, you frozen.
I got soon. Your mic is muted too.
I know. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so for me, it's three words that come to mind. We have education, awareness, and ignorance. I think uh, gone are the days where the athlete is just there just to play sports. Those days are gone. Um, athletes are very powerful because people are watching them, right?
Generate revenue. Revenue generation.
They generate revenue whether you like the sport or not. People are paying attention, whether there's grown-ups, whether there's kids, and people do listen to what they have to say. So I think that's happening in today's sports world. They speak, people listen. So when we see things like people, athletes boycotting, entertainers boycotting things, people are like, okay, well, why are they doing it, right? The rich guy or the person who does not have to care about sports or entertainers, they watch news, so they are on the internet. So now they're reaching a audience that probably didn't pay attention to what they had to say now. And the fact that you have all these big time, and I can't put uh, I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on those words like conglomerates and big time of these private organizations where you look at the NHL, you look at the NFL, you look at the NBA, you look at the MLB. Like these guys are like, listen, and they're in this together. You don't see just one sport. It's not about one sport. It's a togetherness about what's going on. And last I checked, look at the revenue of each one of these private organizations, and you tell me if people are going to listen if they decide they don't want to play. Because the end all be all is that cash cow, right? And of all of these billionaire owners and all these private organizations, they are going to pay attention when their product decides that they don't want to participate on the job because they don't have a choice. And this is what's happening now. They have to pay attention because their product has power like it has never had before right now. Never have you seen an athlete say, you know what? I'm just not going to play. I'm going to go do this right here. And the owners say, oh, well, damn, I got to listen now, you know? And I think that's what's happening. So you talk about change, right? And it's process to everything. Like somebody, you just can't go do something that somebody locks you up and they throw away the key. It's due process, right?
Right.
However, these billionaire owners, because you hear people say, oh, nothing's going to happen. This can't get done. Well, guess who the billionaire owners know? They know big time lawyers because I can't get the lawyers that they have on speed dial. I can't get them,
And
right? We just can't.
yeah, and big time political donations.
Political donations, judges, prosecutors, right? They know these people, and it's a fact that they know them, right? And because it's like a trickle down, and because they do know them, because you decided to take the stance, you're able to follow the money trail because the money is being threatened. And it's a possibility, a strong possibility that you can affect change with this stuff.
The one issue is pretty interesting because since the NBA came back with the jerseys, the court, and everything, it's been a very strong movement that tied to the Black Lives Matter social injustice movement. And there's been, I guess, some backlash. I think if we want to take a look and be honest, everybody doesn't agree with it. Everybody doesn't want to see it. And I think it comes down to Benjamin Franklin. He's on. He's just not about the Benjis, the hundreds. He said, if you want to fix injustice, the people who are not affected by the injustice must be as concerned as the people that are affected by the injustice. And when you look at that, moving forward, when you see the NFL do their cancer uh, awareness month, they do every year. Everything in pink, everything around pink, everything, gloves, football. They really don't get a backlash for people saying, well, why are you bringing cancer in? We're trying to watch the NFL. Because across the board, people have been touched by cancer. People have women in their lives that have been touched by breast cancer. So they do the breast cancer awareness. So a lot of people have been, brought into it. But I think on the NBA level, when you talk about social injustice, racial discrimination, it hasn't touched everybody, and especially the way it's touched the African American, community historically, and just moving up. So you get a a backlash from it, and trying to get people to understand that this is a social injustice movement that we have that we're trying to correct, and it's just not. It's a social injustice issue. It's not a black versus white issue. It's right versus wrong,
Yeah.
and and it's what and how people should be treated, and the people that want to be hardcore constitutionalists. Um, they it's a constitution. The Constitution, all men are created equal, and you have the same rights and same respects. If I'm paying the taxes that I'm paying, I want to be treated with the same respect and get the same rights as everybody. And having the conversation that we've all had, and as Jonathan and I have, as fathers, given, um, you know, that's something that continues to go. I mean, Doc Rivers spoke of that after his press conference, his emotional press conference, and it's all trying to get people to come together and trying to have better community policing. That's at the end of the day what we want. And you're not having situations where you have a George Floyd situation, you have this other situations that have played out across America. You look at the situation with Kyle Rittenhouse that happened. You know, he had an AR-15, young man, killed two people. Um, you know,
Made another one.
walked by the police. He's home in Illinois. He don't even live in there. Like then maybe months before he's extradited, he's claiming self-defense. People said he shot somebody in the head, and people said why. That's why would spark people coming after him.
Not viewed as a threat. That's the difference. Not viewed as a threat.
Carrying an AR-15 after firing rounds. That I mean,
They
that
they didn't believe it was him. Clearly, they let him walk right by. They didn't
um,
believe it was. I mean, the biggest thing is how come, and I don't profess to have the answer to this,
yeah,
but how come the police in our area, you know, don't look like us? Why is that? I mean, not to say that you're in a black neighborhood, you should have a black police officer, but I mean, It
I,
should be.
I think you bring up a good point, Greg. I think you bring up just community. The officers have to embrace the community, and the community has to embrace the officers in moving forward. And I think that's what needs to be happening when we talk about community policing. It's not being in an area that you're going to be treated different. Social. Let's be real, and it's actually has a lot to do with class also, but mostly has to do with has a racial component to it when you're pulled over. Um, and it's not a thing about, and people go about bashing police or you're anti-police, anti-cop. No, we're anti-brutality. And we all, when you look at as African American males, and when you talk about each of us are individual. We may be African American male. Duke likes the Steelers. Jonathan's the 49ers. We all have our individual quirks about us, but in the terms of policing, um, that's not seen through sometimes. And that inability to see through that could have some lethal consequences. I mean, it definitely can. And
Well,
go ahead, Greg.
here's the scary thing. And I've listened to a couple other shows, and you just hear people talking. Obviously, social media, people are rendering their opinions on these things. But here's what's interesting. They was like, well, the police officer could have used, a different set of force, like taking them down physically. That doesn't work out for us either.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, you look at the George Floyd situation, they ain't use no guns. They just physically just took that man out of there. The guy, Eric Gardner, they choked him out. So it's like a no-win situation for us either way. If this guy gets shot in the back, or he unfortunately gets killed by, somebody's physical hand. So there's no victory for us in this thing. I mean, to me, there's got to be like some sort of universal sign of surrender. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't got, and because you're scaring the hell out of me. Like, don't move. Oh man, you got a gun pointed at me. This. I'm scared now.
Yeah.
And the problem with that, unfortunately, somebody, not necessarily got to be black, but somebody's gonna wreck it. Like, you lay down, put your hands out, and whatever.
You're in a life or death game of Simon Says.
Right. And you get into a quote unquote fetal position, and somebody ultimately is gonna get up and run, or somebody's gonna get up and stab the police, and then that's not gonna work anymore. Like, it's just crazy. Just we just sometimes just feel like being a black man, you're just in a no-win situation. No win. You can't win. What you do, you're just not gonna come out, victorious. I mean, it can end up ugly for you. It could be death, it could be shots, it could be, they're always fishing for something. Where are you coming from? What does that have to do with me running the light? Nothing. Like, I'm not offering any answers for you. I ran the light. So let's address what I did. You want to give me a ticket for light? That's fine. I don't have an attitude. You're right. I'm wrong. Where are you coming from? Do you have any weapons in the car? Do you have any drugs in the car? Dude, you want to search the car? Get a warrant. Oh, but now you sound like a jerk. You sound like a jerk. Like, I'm okay with. I told the police officer that I pulled over. Listen, I'm okay with the ticket, man. Was it $110? You know what I mean? You see the signs. It's free to stop. Is it $115 to roll?
Oh, yeah.
I roll $115. You don't need a conversation. You want to check my registration. You don't have your insurance card, bro. It's 2020. You ran my license. You ran my plates. You know whether or not I have insurance. You already know. So what's the discussion for? Why are they always fishing? You know what I mean?
To me, is very simple, and it is blatant racism for a lot of the stuff. It's just like, okay, why is this attitude and this harassment going on?
You have a preconceived and it's and it's a preconceived notion that you may be up to something. And that's because you're African American. Yeah.
Put this out there, and it's not all police officers.
Oh, no.
I've been pulled over. By white officers, and it was smooth. Hey, what's happening, man? Your back light is out. Oh, thanks, officer, because there was no way for me to know if my back light is out. So he pulled me over to let me know. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
So that happens. That has happened, but
definitely. You're not uh, the police, but they're trying to make like I put it this way. This is the way I have the way I kind of try and phrase an analogy. You have people. You're in the teaching profession. If you have teachers that are inappropriate with students, and you put them on blast and say we got to get rid of them, you're not anti-teachers. You're
No.
anti. You're anti these teachers that are doing something wrong, and that
Yeah.
and that's the way. And we're not talking about somebody robbing a bank with a Uzi coming out blasting and they get
No.
shot, and we're like, oh well, why did you shoot him? Well, he had an
Hey,
AK and he was
they are.
spraying
They are. Hey, listen. Let's put this out there too. There are justifiable
killings.
killings,
Yes, there's
but we're not worrying about those. We're
yeah
worrying about the ones that are not
justified.
justifiable.
We know
Well,
we
but that's the thing. Like, I'm sitting in the car. They come up with the guns out. Yo, what's this about?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Okay, get out the car. Not a problem. I start getting out the car. You moving too fast, bro. You want me in the car? You want me out the car? I get out the car. I get thrown to the ground, knee in the back, handcuffs on. Yo, can somebody tell me what's going on? Shut the f up. Oh, that's where we're going. I'm almost 50 years old. What do you mean? Shut? Who you talking to?
Right.
Resisting what? I'm already on the ground. My hands are cuffed. You're rummaging through my. What you putting the drugs in my pocket? Is that what we're doing? So it comes down to the lady up the street. Son got murdered, unfortunately, a couple of weeks before, and she's Asian. She wasn't even white. She was Asian. Not that it really matters. Mm-hmm. She said I fit the description. The description of what? I never got out the car. So outside of having a low cropped haircut, dark skin with a white t-shirt on, which is standard Philadelphia equipment. When it comes here, a white tee.
And a beard.
That fit. But they won't trying to hear it. They won't trying to hear it. And the guy that gave me the most force was a black guy, little guy, Napoleon, you know. But the white guy was interrogating me just as much. And then they get the walkie-talkie goes off, somebody shooting up the street, they decide to let me go. The white guy turns around and says, yo, let me see your license and registration. I was like, F you, man, I wasn't driving. I was parked. I was parked, bro. I wasn't driving. Long story short, I go up to the Northeast, we go up to the detectives. I said, man, this is unfair. The lady said, black lady, they were well within their rights. Really? Well within your rights. So they had a gun. I could have got toe tagged out there that
yeah. And I think about it, and your experiences are your expertise, as people say. I think Marcellus Wiley says that, and that's true. And when you have experience, is that's what you rail on, and that's what you know the only thing you can go with, moving forward. But there's some solutions. Where do we work? Because people in police departments are kind of autonomous to kind of work on. Is there some federal oversight that needs to be put in place? What another to get people to have a fair shot and a fair voice, and especially when you go up and down the social economic class, being pulled over and a and a traffic stop going bad, that's universal to all black people, whether you are a doctor, lawyer, construction worker, or whatever, student, whatever. That's why your heart rate goes up when you see them lights and you get pulled over. There's some anxiety, there's some tension. You know, trying to figure out what's going on. Like Greg said, what did I do? Did I run a light? Did I roll a stop sign? Did I make a turn? Do I have a light out? Is there a warrant out for somebody's arrest that look like me? And you're in those situations, and that's why I used to have the gospel station program to switch right to it when I got pulled over. High, turned up blazing, loud as could possibly be. But I mean, it's interesting as you go through because I've been through many situations as a very young kid or whatever, having trouble breathing at night. Dad came out, mom taking me to the hospital. Dad running lights, running stop sign. Cop on a motorcycle pulls over, like, what's going on? He said, this is the situation. He's like, follow me. Put the lights on, took us all the way to, to the hospital that we needed to go. So you have certain circumstances, but I think what we're talking about is the culture of policing and sometimes how it goes awry and how can it be corrected. And you don't. The one thing I said about the George Floyd incident was that's a culture thing. You're not going to be on a man's neck with your knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds with three other cops around, and
Oh
they
yeah.
allow that to happen. Is a culture, and the thing about it something people are in policing, and I have friends that are police officers. That's the whole thing. I got friends that are black, friends that are police officers. Everybody says that. And when things jumped off in Philly, like the first people I texted or called was like, "Yo, hey, y'all all right? Y'all cool?" So it's not. We're just trying to get home safe, like everybody else is trying to get home safe. We're trying to have the same respect that everybody else is having with respect, and
Right.
we're all individuals. And unfortunately, the African and it's funny because people they still ask the questions. Why do all black people do this? Why do black people do that? But it's a misunderstanding when we're like, well, they just shot this guy 7 times in the back. That could be me.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, so that's where the concern comes from cross communities and cross social economic boundaries. And I think that was interesting about the George Floyd in the situation that we are with the pandemic that kind of brought light to it, that brought everybody's eyes on it, and where you couldn't be fixed. You weren't really, with so many people not going to work, some people just stationary, they were right there, and they had to fixate it and digest it and just break it down. Like, why would you do that to somebody? You don't know who this guy was, and this wasn't over a violent crime. This
Oh
wasn't
no.
over. This was over. He may have had a bad $20 bill.
Yeah. Well, my thing with it is, their adrenaline must be pumping.
Yeah,
I mean, gotta be. I mean, it's like a fight.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, we've all been in fights before. You're fighting out with so and so for whatever reason. Bang, you hit him, he falls. Do you go in and throw the extra punch while the joker's on the ground, or do you ease up? You know what I mean? Me personally, I'll probably go in and throw that extra shot in there, just to make sure. But it's the people that's around you, like, yo, no, no, gee, you need to chill out. That boy, he done.
yeah,
And that's what got me with the George Floyd situation. All right, they put him down and da 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 da, and the other cops just stood there. Now the cop with his knee on his neck, he's on go. He's
yeah.
on go. Period. Now you're sitting there, you're not at the level that he's at. You look over like, yo, bro, you need to stop. It's just like, like a UFC fight. You know when your opponent's down. You know when he ain't fighting back. You see him go in for the kill, and the referees, you got to have somebody to police that
Right.
to
Right.
stop. And that's where I find fault with the policing. You get what I'm saying? Because they just was like they was just okay with it. Come on, man. Everybody's been in that situation. You watch
Right.
somebody fighting and everything. Oh man, I gotta break this up. This ain't no victory for this guy right here. He's getting trashed.
Yeah.
And you stop it. You stop. I told 2 kids they wanted to fight in front of my house. You want to fight? Go ahead. I'm not breaking it up. Somebody gonna get knocked out, and I'm gonna just pull you off them. But you gonna be on the ground sleep. Cause I'm not. You don't. You want to get involved, but you don't want to get involved. Because then the kid, oh well, it was because of him I got beat up. No, it's because of that weak chin you had. So it's just tough, man. It's just tough for us all the way around. It's just sometimes it feels like a no-win situation. Doesn't matter what you do, um, you're not gonna win. And I'm just tired of what we thought you were. It's like guilty until proven innocent for us. That's the problem. We're always guilty. You got a guy with binoculars.
And you also right.
No,
You
you
also
got a guy with binoculars in the park harassing the lady walking her dog. Wait a minute, he's got binoculars and he's watching birds. That's not even something that we do. That's not the guy that I'm going to point out and say that this guy was threatening me. He's got binoculars. What is he doing with binoculars? Unless he's a peeping Tom. You see him watching birds. Oh, but he's a criminal.
And that could have took a turn if police came there, like,
Oh, without doubt.
and she knew all the key words to say,
oh, absolutely.
African American man is threatening me. Like, she knew everything. And I think you hit ahead. Like, when you look for the benefit of the doubt, and people are just looking for the benefit of the doubt, but a majority of the times they doubt our benefit, or we beneficial to society in any manner when we get stopped, and therein lies the problem. You're looking at individuality, and if you look at crime or whatever statistics, once you reach a certain age, it's like if you're talking about gang banging and all that kind of stuff, that's 18 to 26, 27. I'm 51 years old. Me,
And
my father, like I'm not, you know, you pulled me over like, hey, what's going on? It's and I think the interaction. I think that just somebody has to sit down and have the ability to have the policing and community and have to be able to have a conversation. And I welcome any police officers that want to come on the Sports Talk Live for the culture, have a discussion.
We're gonna make that happen. We're
Yeah,
gonna make
make
that
that
happen.
happen. I think that's what we need to do is sit down. I have I talked to my first cousin's uh, husband, who's a police officer, Dominic Thurston, and you just find out information. I was like Dominic, because they do those no knock warrants and stuff like that, and going in people's. I was like, what? That seems so dangerous to me. I mean, like for me, just going in like you're going into a place where you don't know what this guy got in there. You got
Right.
bombs, booby traps. I was like, why don't you just keep an eye on him and let him come out to Wawa and get some coffee and apprehend him? Wouldn't that be safer? He said, yeah, but we don't get paid like that. We only get paid to issue warrants between these certain times. Oh, if you only get paid to issue warrants between these certain times in the AM, and the people know it, so they trying to avoid you in the AM and doing different things. So there's a lot of questions that you have because I have no experience in law enforcement. I have no experience in dealing with hostile situations, so I welcome definitely to come on and have a conversation because that's the only way that you can share knowledge, share experience, and learn is by actually sitting down and having conversations with people.
Yeah, I
And
think
that,
this. I think one of the main things, man, is just to like we all know. It's just no matter what type of profession that you're in, it could be being a cop, being a lawyer, being an entertainer, sports, whatever it is. It's just the basic respect as a man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I'm not gonna come up to either one of y'all and just start talking crazy. Like it's a way to do that. It's if you get pulled over and you don't we don't want to keep it police because of disrespect, just period, right?
yeah,
It's just the basic decency of not saying, being the aggressive nature just from the door. It's like you don't even know me. Why are you approaching me so aggressively? You know
and
what
I
I
think
mean?
that may be the fear factors. Like I gotta let
Because
this.
as a man, I'm gonna say, you come to me like, what are you doing? Whoa, 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 whoa! Like, why is your tone, like that? What happened to how you doing? Like, what happened to that? Why are you so? As a man, I'm gonna be like, wait a second. Why is your voice so angrily, crazily? So that kind of starts everything off. And we're not going to talk about then when you put your hands on me. So now it takes a whole different turn. I think even before, because a lot of things happen before the end result. But I think starting out with just the basic decency of respecting somebody as a man or a woman, you got to start there first.
Right.
but why should they respect you? That's the thing. What? Why should they respect you? Because it's like they don't. It's like they don't care.
right.
You know what I mean? Like it to me, it's just a dumb question. You know what I mean? Where you coming from?
Right.
That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just do
Like,
what I did.
why would you want to know where I'm coming from? Like, why would
Right.
you ask? I can ask you the same thing. I can ask you the same thing. Officer, where you coming from?
Well, that's my
Like,
thing.
how
So
would you feel? How would you feel if I asked you that?
yeah, I mean, my thing is
Yeah.
like, where you coming from? Where do you think I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you
So
want to
right.
rant? Like now I'm gonna be a jerk because
Yeah.
clearly you
Like
think I'm coming from somewhere that I'm probably not. You know what I mean?
yeah. And
Someone is giving you a
to,
description, and now all of a sudden, I mean, I fit the mold. What mold is that? I'm
Right.
right.
a college graduate. I sit behind the desk all day. I mean, a
Yeah.
suit and tie at
My
work.
my homie got yeah. My homie got hit with that same situation. They asked him. He was over in Jersey. They asked him where was he coming from. Where was he going to? He said, I'm going to Walmart. Walmart was right across the street from where he got pulled over at. So when he ran his license, he said, where you going to? He said, Walmart. He said, well, you rode past probably 7 Walmarts before you got to this Walmart. He said, look, I'm going to Walmart. It's like, I'm going to Walmart. You know what I mean? Like It doesn't matter where I'm going at. I'm going to Walmart. I'm telling you where I'm going. You ask me where I'm going. I came to go to this Walmart right here. You know, he was pulled over for a while in Jersey, and it was crazy. But I seen something that someone posted. Hours that it takes to be a cop. 6 months it takes to be a cop. She said, why does it take 6 months to be a cop? But it took me almost 10 years to become a lawyer. So it takes me 10 years to understand the law, but it takes you 6 months to enforce the law. Like that's a problem. You know, how does it take me 10 years to understand the law, but it only takes you 6 months to enforce the law? You know, they say they think they're gonna become a cop.
Yeah, and
You
I
need to
think
buy on the street. That's why. I mean, I guess policing is a high demand job. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, there's something I wouldn't sign up for. Man, I appreciate them when they come out and do the things that they do. It's just that, just to me, the questions, like it was a shooting in my neighborhood. They knocked on my door, and I come out and answer the door. I'm, shorts on and the wife beater. Did you hear the shot? Yeah, I heard the shot. Why you ain't call the police? For what? Y'all late. I looked outside. They was gone. You know what I mean? So you're not going to sit here and ask me all these questions about what did I see. I saw what you saw. Nothing. I'm laying in the bed. It was 12 o'clock at night. I heard a couple of gunshots go off. I didn't hear anybody scream. I didn't see anybody fall. Then the next day they're out there walking on my lawn. And I'm like, yo, the undercovers walking on my lawn. Yo, my man, what are you doing on my lawn? What business is it of yours? Because I own the property. So I'm going to ask you nicely to get the hell off my lawn. So he comes up, I'm the police. Okay, you still need to get off my lawn. If you want to walk on my lawn, if you want to look for some bullets, if you want to look for some evidence, you come knock on my door. Period. And he had an attitude. And I'm like, dude, I'm dead serious. I'll tell the mailman not to walk on my lawn. You know what I mean? So
you're a grass guy. You take pride in your grass. Yeah.
But I mean, it was just a point. Like you come home from a hard day at work, you see a stranger walking around on your yard, in your yard. You don't know who he is. He didn't have police on the back. Like I said, he was undercover or whatever. I seen the Mortal Kombat boots. You know what I mean? I kind of figured who it was, but I might have had a little jerk tendencies in me. But yo, you need to come knock on my door. Well, your neighbor house got hit. That has nothing to do with me. If my house got hit, I wouldn't be calling you. I'd be calling the insurance company. You know what I mean? I got a bullet in my window. I need my window fixed. You know what I mean? So I think it's a tough job. Job I probably couldn't do.
Yeah, but, Greg, I don't think we need you on the force, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, I get it. It is a tough job.
Yeah,
it's
very tough
because you don't know. I think the biggest thing is they don't know who they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I got a.
And if you're coming in from outside the community and have not developed any relationships within the community, makes it very difficult to police the community.
Temperament is big. Temperament is big, man. We've all been. Listen. I have officers, law enforcement, anywhere from, the state police to local police to DA. And it's about approaching people, man. And we know how it is. Listen, we've known some cool cops growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't about coming trying to be aggressive with anybody, and they respected us. We respected them, and we kind of left it like that. Like nobody's coming to try to come with the disrespect and the temperament and coming angrily approaching people. You were asked to do something, we did it because you came the correct way. It was like, okay, y'all guys need to, get off the corner. It's getting kind of late, and we were like, oh, all right. But if you come with, yo, you heard what I said, get up out of here. I don't want to catch you anymore. You come around here anymore, I'm gonna throw you down. Now it's like, oh no, like what you being all angry for, So I think the temperament has a whole lot to do with a whole lot, man.
It's attitude, man. It's just attitude. My neighbors were fighting. It was a nasty brawl. Kid got snot beat out of him. Cops show up. Everybody leave, disperse. I'm sitting on the step. You leave. Sir, I live here. You know what I mean? He came over, he threw a cigarette butt on my grass. Yo, you gonna pick that up? That's littering, bro. I just pick that up. And he, white dude, he was hot. And I was just like, yo, man, I ain't had nothing to do with it. Matter of fact, I'm the one that made the phone call. You know what I'm saying? But why don't you do your job? I don't see anybody getting arrested. I don't see no de-escalation. I mean, it took him a while to get the situation under control, and now he's mad. Dude, it's hot, man. My air conditioner wasn't working that day. I'm sitting outside. I'm not. I don't care what's going on two houses down. That's not my problem. What you need to do is get off my property, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess sometimes we got a way of saying things, but it's just how you come at somebody.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm okay with the ticket, man. You want to write the ticket, man? Hey, listen, man, be my guest, man. You right? What did you do, man? Why don't you just tell me? The ticket is fine, man. It was $150. That's not a problem. Listen, man. By the time you pull your next joke off, that check will be in the mail.
Yeah.
I can't have my license suspended. That's what they're looking for. Warren, what are you missing? Is your license suspended? Are you wanted for something? Do you have a warrant? You know, you have insurance. They're always looking for something to jam you up on. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy thing. Like, yo, man, just do your job. You saw something that was wrong. I'm not gonna argue with you. You said I ran a stop sign. You know what? I run a lot of stop signs. I do a lot of California road. That's fine. Just give me the ticket. I'm okay with that. Oh, you got an attitude. No, I just want to be up on my way. Just give me the ticket so I can roll. I don't need to be here 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, and an interesting part is, as I think the key is you have to try to build some type of community relations, in the communities, especially as you try to move forward. That's going to be the thing. I think that's you know what's missing is that you have to have true commitment on both sides to community policing, and that's what we can try to work for. But I think what happens is for all of it because this is not new. You know, this is not something that just post Bloods and Crips have come up. This goes all the way back since the inception. Uh,
Right.
I mean, Richard Pryor had the classic skit when he was shooting up his car. Cops got
Yeah.
cars, got guns too, and they just don't kill cars; they
Yeah.
kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, you go all the way back. This has been an issue of just you know fair and proper moving forward, but it's a cultural thing because as we look and inspire, and a lot of times, black faces in high places, African American mayors, African American police chiefs, hell, African American president, you still having issues that we're dealing with at the grassroots level. And I think those solutions have to come from the grassroots level. I mean, those are the solutions that, and I want to be a part of the solution. And so, doing that, Duke, if you can work out, we can get some law enforcement personnel on the show and
Great to have him,
talk
definitely.
and have a discussion, and we can educate people, educate folks. What are they looking for? Maybe there's a question they're trying to ask while they're trying to find out where you're coming from, where they're going. Those questions that we can ask them and pose and shed some light, and less heat. That's what we try to do here at Sports Talk Live for the culture. We try to improve the culture, not just in sports, but we think the things that we learn as we can become teammates, and link up and be able to press forward and have a better situation. And that's the only way you're going to do. Change starts with conversations and open conversations and honest conversations, and you got to have a space where you can have those conversations and not feel that you will be bashed upon because the way you feel about a situation, the way you feel about something is different from the masses or different from me or different from anybody. Um,
Right.
that's that's what we need. If we can spark some conversation in that direction, that would be good, and I think that'll be a great thing as we try, to move forward. And we
Definitely
try.
gonna put that. Definitely gonna put that together. Got some shout outs, man.
Oh, shout them out.
Got Miss Relena.
Hey, Miss Orlando.
Big Ron,
That's
West Virginia
wifey.
State University, Mr. Thomas Bird, Coach, Championship Coach Roger Lasaf, David Harper,
Hey, cuz.
Roberto Lombardi, Michael Iron Mike Starks, Mr. Ira Madison, Andrew Taylor, Mr. Bill Morgan. I'm trying to catch up with you, brother.
Oh, definitely.
Jason Reeves down in ATL, Jason Thomas, Tangenique Williams Prince, Kenneth Covert.
Kenneth.
Kenneth says, "What's up?" And Mr. Luke Ivy. Thanks for joining, ladies and gents.
Definitely. And we want to,
Oh, can't forget Johnny Martin.
oh, Johnny Martin.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's what we're going to do. And I think that'll be like a great sit down show to get and talk about the things that are going on in the world today. I want to jump in. NBA, the playoffs, they're resuming. Um, just talk about some sports for a second. The Lakers seem not to have problems with Portland. Portland won the first game. The Lakers won the next three. Moving forward, the big news though, and because it's close to my heart, my 10-9-8 76ers. Um, what can Brown do for you? Apparently not enough. He was fired quickly and swiftly.
as
It's
he
all a
should,
coming. It's all a coming.
as
Um,
he should have been.
Coach Greg is very happy. Uh, Elton Brand has said we've been doing the collab, but it's no longer going to be the collab. We're going to do me. We're going to do the general. That's what we're going to move on and do now because I want to talk about these 76ers. Where do we go? Brown firing was justified. He had 7 years. He's gone. He didn't relate. I don't know what happened. Whatever he was trying to do did not come out to wins and losses on the court and did not meet the expectation of the organization or the fans. Now we have Elton Brand taking over the full control. He's no longer going to have Colangelo, Brown, or whatever. He's going to do his thing. Here's the situation. I want you guys to be with me. The most important thing to the Philadelphia 76ers is the draft. And they haven't done well there. They got Embiid and all these picks and who they move for. Because clearly, as a free agent destination, they're not a hot spot. And the big time free agents aren't coming there. They're not trying to get there. So you have to draft well and put your draft picks on the floor that form. Kind of like Golden State. Nobody wanted to go to Golden State. And then they drafted well, had a real good team, and then they said, okay, a few more pieces. Then they became a big time juggernaut, and KD wanted to jump there. I think that's what's going to have to happen for the 76ers. And I don't know. The key to the 76ers to me moving forward is this is the biggest thing, and we can talk about who you think should be the next coach. The thing is, will Ben Simmons become a top five player in the league? If he
No,
doesn't become a top five player in the league, then you got to go find yourself someone who can become a top five player in the league, and he can ride alongside them. I don't know how much that fixtures in the cap, or what you're going to do. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna let you go. We should let you go last, Greg. Just because we let a Sixers fan go first, we gonna let it finish with a Sixers fan. So me personally, I see you ready to jump down. I see you ready to jump down the pole. I see you ready. So hold on. I think this is Elton Brand saying, now you can look at me. Like before, like him saying he's gonna now he's saying I'm gonna take the blame for the next 4 years. Don't give me that blame for the last 5 years. That wasn't me. That's pretty much what he said when he said it's going to be him now. It's not going to be a collab. So he's pretty much saying things didn't work when I collab with people. So I'm gonna do it on my own to try to get himself a couple more years on the team. That's what I got from that with him saying that. But Sixers, I don't think Ben has to be a full top five player. That's hard to be. You got great people looking on the outside of top five. I think Luka's just cracking inside of the top five. So it's Damian Lillard is not a top five player. He's definitely up there, but he's awesome. So I don't think he has to be top five. In order to for the success to happen. Jimmy Butler's not top five. He's bottom, maybe eight. So I don't think he has to be that good.
Just one thing. I'm talking.
You muted.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I muted myself.
Sunni's muted.
I'm talking chips. It's been 1983. I'm not talking about doing well. I'm not talking about participation trophies. I'm talking about being going down Broad Street if we ever can get together in a group again, COVID-19. Or I'm talking about the Larry O'Brien trophy.
Right.
So that's when I say to be successful, he's got to be top five. He's got to be top five in the league if we're going to hoist that Larry O'Brien trophy. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, you have Embiid, who's. If you got two top 10 players, I think that's good enough. If you got two top 10 players and you put the right pieces around them, I think that can be good enough. If he was by himself and he had, let's say somebody else on the outside, let's say like let's take like the Bucks. Like if he had who's the Bucks second scorer? He's not top five. He's not top 10. So
you talking Millsap?
Millsap, he's not top 10. Yeah. So if it was like that, then maybe. But I think since you have two guys that can be in the top 10. So if he gets just the 10, I don't think he has to get the 5. That's a different league. That's MVP caliber. I don't think he's going to get the MVP caliber. Like I don't see that. But you already have a player that's close to that. You already have Embiid that's knocking on the door of the top 5. So I don't think you need two top 5 players. That's going to lead to disaster with the Eagles.
I'm trying to get to the chip.
Well, they don't get that. But I just see Brand back up. I just see him as trying to put everything on everybody else and say that wasn't really all me. That wasn't my doing. So that's just where I was at. You can take over.
Well, I don't think that the Sixers are in bad shape because they got a couple pieces. I'm talking about moving forward, Greg. We done with yesterday.
Hold on, Greg. We told you hold on.
Hold on, Greg. You're going to get
we done with yesterday.
Coming back after you talk. Hold on and get it off.
Greg, this is the symphony. You're going to be Big Daddy Kane. You're going to wrap it up. You're going to be Busta Rhymes on the scenario. You're going to go last, okay? All right? We got you.
So moving forward, they need 2 studs. Let's start right there, right? I believe that you can keep Simmons because he's a willing facilitator, right? But you need 2 guys on the wing. I'm not talking about your Tobias Harris's and guys that can fill roles. I'm talking about guys that can get you 22 a night, both on the wing, like guaranteed 20-something.
Yeah.
And I believe it will take the deficiencies of Ben Simmons away because that's what we're focusing on. Oh, this guy can't shoot. He can't do this. He can't. And in big games, you're looking for guys like him to get a bucket.
Yeah, get buckets.
Well, guess what? He's not that guy.
His top end is Pippen. His top end is Scottie Pippen. But
he's not that guy. Can we agree that they can use him? Is Ben Simmons serviceable?
Yeah, definitely. What he does well is part of winning championships.
For his paycheck, though, for his line of paycheck.
Right. So we want to go to that.
A max contract is like top 5.
Guys, if we want to go to paychecks, we're gonna be mad at a whole bunch of guys, right? So we can't do anything about that because he's gonna get the
money. The highest paid player, 3 years ago, right? Not Kyle Lowry. Point guard. That's he's on the Suns now.
Booker.
And Booker.
No, I mean not the Suns. I'm sorry. He's on
Washington.
He's on the Jazz now. He's on the Jazz now.
Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell?
No, the point guard.
Talking about
he was at the Grizzlies.
Mike Conley.
Mike Conley.
He was top player.
You want to talk about money, Jonathan? We can start. So no, but they're going to need 2 wing players, right? And if Ben wants to facilitate and get rebounds and push, and he's a willing passer, then he needs to find guys who want to put the ball in the basket because he's not one of those guys. So I think that's what they need to do. Now, with that being said, you're going to have to give up something like Tobias Harris the Al Horfords, anybody who's making a whole lot of money other than those two, you got to start cleaning out things in order to bring these studs in. Or even if you want to see what's out there for Simmons, you might have to see what you can get for Simmons. But I believe MB is the piece that stays, and you got to find out who wants to come and your wings, who can put the ball in the basket and like that. And I'm gonna end with this, right? Philadelphia is a great city if you're winning. It's a great city to play in because guess what? The fans are going to be behind your back 125%. That's one of the places where you will never get a ticket at if you're a stud in the city, right? And I'll go back to the story of Terrell Owens when he was here, right? Terrell Owens was driving to the game. And this is when Philly was on a high. I mean, nobody could stop him. It was a traffic jam. He wound the window down and asked the officer, he said, "Officer, is there anything that I can do? I got to get to the stadium and going to be late." The officer said, "Follow me." They on the side of the road with his lights on. We're going to get you to this damn stadium. So,
we need them 2 touchdowns.
We need them 2 touchdowns. So my life in the city could be even better. Right? So as far as that, it being a great city, oh yeah. But the Sixers aren't that far away, man. They made one change, right? Yeah. They need to make a few more, and then they'll be ready. They just was in Game 7, and they lost against the World Championships 2 years ago. They just lost. So, but like I said, they had Jimmy Butler. So you need to go see what you can do to get a guy like him back. Because we saw what was happening. The energy was there when he was here.
Do you think Ben goes back to the point though with the new coach, or it depends? We'll talk about the new coach, but Greg, go ahead. Greg,
I think whoever comes.
Let me say one thing, Greg, before you get on.
We'll get the floor.
If Clay, back to you, who they was trying to get rid of. If they can get Klay Thompson, they'll get rid of everybody. I'm telling you right now, they can get Clay and they can keep Ben and Embiid, they'll shop the whole team for Clay. Because they get Clay. If they get Clay, they're in the championship. I don't see no one being able to stop him with that type of shooter on that team. And he's learning how to create his shot somewhat. So Ben can go back to the point guard if they get Clay.
They're going to need more than Clay. They're going to need more.
Nah, I think Clay that gives them the backcourt. They have the best backcourt defense in the NBA with Ben and Clay. No one will have a defense that tough for the point guard.
Mr. Jonathan, I think that you need somebody to rebound, son.
No, they got the rebounders.
Who?
They got Embiid. If they get Clay and they keep Horford and they get rid of Tobias, they won't get rid of Tobias for Clay.
Horford's old. Horford got to go. Horford's
right.
that money.
It's time to get. And I like. Horford.
You can't play. They're not going to write that. They didn't. Right. They didn't take the tax, the NBA tax to keep JJ Redick. They could have overpaid for JJ Redick, and they didn't do that. Bad move.
If they get the best shooter, I think Clay is a better shooter than Steph, me personally. They get the best shooter to me in the NBA, they will be fine. I'm telling you. That's their problem is points. They're like the Sixers with Iguodala as the star. The problem was points with the Sixers with Iguodala when he was the star. Tyronn Lue was coming off the bench averaging 25. What? How? He was coming off the bench being the leading scorer. So the problem is points to me with the Sixers. If they get someone like that, I think that it'll change the game. If anybody gets Clay, wherever Clay goes, if we get Clay,
but how the max, but you can't.
Who's we?
We get Clay.
Who scared me for a minute, Jonathan?
I'll say how many max contracts you gonna have? You got to max. You got to max him out, but you've already maxed.
You got to stop Tobias out. You got to get rid of that contract. You got to get rid of Tobias.
This is true.
All right, Greg. Coach Greg.
I'm going mute.
I'm a mute.
Greg, don't come in angry, man. Just come in. We talk about temperament.
I've been in.
There we go.
I've been in, corporate America since I stopped painting houses back in 1994 when I thought it was unsafe. And one thing you learn in corporate America they trim trees from the top, right? The coach goes, the GM goes. They put these people together. A collaborative effort. I'm okay with that. But you signed off on these people. Let's see. We got Simmons max deal, Tobias Harris max, Embiid max, Horford at 101 million. Richards is getting like $25 million a year.
I don't think Richardson got paid yet.
He's close. You went out and got these people. And what was your system going to be? Because you told me a couple of weeks ago that we're going to switch Ben Simmons' position. So you didn't have a plan. You couldn't have had a plan. So when they showed Brown the door, they should have showed Elton Brand the door as well. That's just me. Now, how do you fix it? Somebody's got to go because these pieces don't fit. The question is, who can you get rid of, and who's willing to take your trash? Because Tobias Harris at $170 was fishing, deep sea fish.
So let me ask you this, Greg.
Yes.
During the time the Sixers were building, when they brought in Richardson and Tobias Harris, and how did you feel then?
When I didn't even know
they were building.
I didn't even know who Tobias Harris was. See, because I don't like good players on bad teams because they usually just they didn't have anybody else. So here's the
inflated. The stats is inflated. You're right.
Right. That's not the player I'm looking for.
When they were building the Sixers team, when they brought in Tobias Harris, when they brought in Horford, when they were bringing these guys in, how did you feel?
I thought they made a critical mistake by not signing Jimmy Butler because he was the alpha male.
Well,
but quick question. Brett Brown didn't want to coach Jimmy Butler. That was
besides that.
So Elton leaned on that. I think that's where Elton Brand is saying it's not going to be collaborative anymore.
Well, the thing of it was number one, Butler probably challenged Brown, but Butler through the back channels, what I'm hearing is Butler and Simmons didn't get along. There's your problem. That's what I've heard.
Well, I heard the GM also had Simmons on the block too, but that was knocked down.
Yeah, of course it was knocked down. Of course, because you got Brett Brown advocating for a stiff. I mean, listen, man. He's a number one draft pick, and as a number one draft pick, he's a hell of a player, but he's not living up to being a number one draft pick. I'm sorry.
Generational talent, as you said.
Right. He's not. I mean, he needs to score the ball. I mean, if he came back with a 10 to 15 footer, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But I keep saying this.
5-footer.
I've said it all along. You can't win with a 1 and a 5. You can't. That's the old school basketball that has played out. You win with a 2, a 3, and a 4. And we have a 1 and a 5. That's what we have. That's why we're not winning. So now you're trying to find a shooter. Well, you got to pay for a shooter. I don't see a shooter on this team. Shake Milton? No. Horford?
That's
Shake is young. Shake's a nice piece to come off the bench.
He's not a sniper though.
He's a nice piece, but
he has the best percentage of anybody who shot over 100 threes in the league this year. But that's
I say y'all should have I don't care. Overpay for JJ Redick.
They should have kept Redick. Yeah.
Even the game y'all lost. Y'all seen how he came out. He came out saying Sixers need points. He started shooting threes from the opening bell. He said, "Look, ain't nobody else gonna shoot. I'm gonna shoot this ball." And he came fine. Like I really was so upset that y'all getting rid of. I really like JJ Redick.
The problem was we overpaid for JJ Redick. I think 2 years ago they gave him like $25 million
for one season,
and then they knocked him back to like 15. And he knew on the open market he could command 20. So why would I play for 10? You know what I mean? It's a business, man. It's just,
right. You're right.
It's not. I don't take.
But you just said who else are they paying? They paying somebody else 25. You said who?
I thought it was Richard's contract.
I don't think Richardson is getting paid yet. I think he's due though.
He's close. If he ain't getting paid, he's close because they said they spent almost $300 million and they got swept in the first round.
Yeah.
Simmons, Tobias, and Embiid. There's your $300 million.
$500 million almost.
No, it's
not. It's Embiid and Tobias was the 300.
No. It's Harris at 170.
Right.
Al Horford at 101,
Yeah.
271 right there, and then they got another 29 million dollars floating around somewhere that they squandered.
Well, they got a
LeBron,
Ben's contract was 178.
who?
Ben Simmons, they re-upped him. They redid his contract and extended him, max.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. But he wasn't. He didn't come here. But he doesn't count. He was already here. You brought these new guys in,
Yeah.
and you got swept. You know what I mean? And somebody signed off on that. So I'm looking for the people who signed off on this madness. Who?
I'm gonna let y'all know.
Who signed off on the madness?
The East.
You got Brett Brown out.
Yeah.
Number one, and you agreed to this? You're a basketball guy. Come on, man. Like,
Listen,
no,
I'm
man.
gonna let everybody know something though.
Somebody's got to be held accountable.
This was the year for everybody over there. It's done. You got a point guard that's coming back that can score with either hand. His name is Kyrie Irving. Not y'all.
Oh, he'll be hurt. Don't worry, he'll be hurt.
You got a point guard that can score with either
Don't worry,
hand.
he'll be hurt when it means the most. But I'm not worried about him.
Then you got a 7 foot. Then you got a 7 foot point guard that can shoot from the hash mark. His name is Kevin Durant. They're coming back next year. The NBA is done. Like they're back.
It's not done. I hope he comes back to full strength, but conventional wisdom tells me that once he tore that ankle up,
he shoots. But he's not LeBron. He doesn't need his strength and his speed. He's a shooter. He's a jump shooter.
Right, I'm fine with the jump shot.
Achilles is not that Achilles.
He's a jump shooter. So when he turns around on a small forward, he's 7 foot. So when he turns around on a small forward, there's nothing you can do about it. You're 6'8", he's 7 foot.
But you're a San Francisco fan, so you know just like I know that defense wins championships. So you can shoot the lights out, but if you can't defend, if you can't move your feet,
you're gonna get on the worst ball player. He's gonna guard the worst ball player on the court.
That's what he's going.
He's gonna guard.
I hope he comes back. Yes, sir.
Greg, moving forward, what do you want to see your beloved Sixers do? Because they got to get a coach. Any candidates floating around?
Coach, Jason Kidd, Tyronn Lue.
It can't be Kidd. I'm all the way out on Jason.
Why not? Why not?
Just out on that guy. I mean, he had Milwaukee, couldn't do nothing with that talent. They got better. They systematically got better when he left.
Well, the Greek was younger though. Also, you gotta. Greek was what 20 when he had him. Like you gotta. You can't do that. Now you got Greek in his prime. He didn't have his prime.
Are we making excuses?
Hey, I'm just talking basketball. What I know. Like you can't talk about Kobe when he was on the bench and then talk about Kobe 10 years later. Like I mean,
this is what I know.
Larry Brown's I'm just being honest.
No, Larry Brown's not coming through the door. I mean. You know what's going to happen?
You need some new life and you need some new blood. That's what you need.
They keep saying the front runner is Tyronn Lue.
He's with Clutch Sports, but go ahead. There's a tie there. Yeah,
I'm not. If they get him, they get him. I mean, yes, he has a championship pedigree. He's been there 3 times. They say he's an X and O guy. They say he has a real understanding of the game. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, most players that come off the bench, see the game differently than the starters. That wouldn't be my first choice. I don't.
What about Dawn Staley, Greg? What do you think about Dawn Staley coming on?
Who is this choice? Since he done shot down the 2 point guard, the coach point guard, who is your choice?
Dawn Staley.
Third point guard, Dawn Staley. I don't know. I don't know if
Martin Jackson. That's another point guard.
Now, Mark Jackson's been blackballed, man, so he's not getting back yet. And for whatever reason,
can we do it? Can somebody the homework for next week investigate why Mark Jackson's not in the NBA coaching? All right, that's your assignment. We'll find out.
Blackball. I mean, he put that dynasty together in Golden State. I mean, he never got him over the top, but he was involved with drafting all those people.
But he got him, 60 wins though, right? He got him 60 wins. Like, I mean, what more can you try to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, is the NBA ready for a female coach? I don't know. Can a female coach? I don't know.
You reaching everywhere. Give me some idea.
No. I mean,
she's elite. She's a great player.
You have a female coach in mind.
Huh?
You have a female coach in mind.
No, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I can't sit here and say, I mean, it's just like you go to the hospital and the nurse is a male. You look up like you're looking for a female. Why? I mean, you're just conditioned to think that way. I didn't say she wasn't qualified to do the job. I just, it's just it is what it is. I don't make those decisions. I mean, hey, if they believe that she's qualified to do the job and she comes in, then she comes in. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna have an opinion on things.
My thing is, why not Jason Kidd? Like, I feel like
I'm just not a fan of Jason.
You see the group. You see what I put in the group earlier. I feel like Jason.
I feel like guy, man.
I feel like Jason Kidd. But you see what I put in the group earlier, Greg, right?
I'm gonna tell you like this: old barbershop.
You keep breaking TVs, man.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this old barbershop conversation that we had. And it's dicey a little bit, but it's not that bad. When you look at all the dogs in the NBA, right? You look at all the extremely talented people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all know they're coming from the inner city, but you're looking at their struggle. Projects, didn't have it, so forth. Dad left early. Somebody that's hungry, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody that's hungry to come in and coach these people. Just because you say, "Oh, I want to come out and I want to coach the Sixers," that doesn't sound hungry to me. Why? I want the person hungry. I want the coach that's going to come in and say, "Ben, I need you to shoot the ball. Because if you don't shoot the ball, I'm going to get fired. And guess what? If I'm getting fired, you're going to go before me." Because that's how corporate America rolls. This is what I need you.
Are there any guys out there like that? Is
I don't know.
Where I'm at. Greg,
I think we might be done with that, Greg. Just that I think we might be done with that just because coaches get fired before players now.
Listen, if my job is hinged on you, then I'm gonna need you to do what I need you to. I'm gonna need you to do certain things. And if you can't do those certain things, then I'm going to be going out and looking to replace you. That's how it rolls. Now you can say it a little bit nicer, to appease the player.
Yes.
But that's how it's going to be. Yeah. I need somebody that's going to get in his face and listen, man. You got Brett Brown fired.
You did that, right? Listen,
listen. I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm sorry.
Hey, get it.
But I'm just saying, but if you understand where I'm coming from, that's the type of person that we need. Somebody that's going to motivate, to get in your players' faces, so that you can get the job done that needs to be done. We don't have no more pacifiers out here. Now you're not a rookie no more. You've been in here. Listen, man, you're getting $170 million a year. You need to go back and work on your jump shot. Okay, we need you to develop a 10 to 15 footer. Because if you can't develop a 10 to 15 footer, I'm saying in my back of my mind, I won't say it to you. You gotta go. I'm going right to the gym. You gotta get rid of it. This is what we got to do. Because you need. This is a business. This is the business. We're not friends.
We should let Greg go last.
Win. Huh? What'd you say?
I said we should let Greg go last. Go ahead, carry on. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, this is a business. If someone's not getting the job done, then they have to go. You put the trash out every week, right? Let's say that the two trash men or women, they come down and they leave your trash. And you're like, yo, why are you leaving my trash? Well, they're not doing their job. They're supposed to throw trash in the back of the truck. My trash never makes it in the back of the truck. They, for whatever reason, miss. Okay. You're going to complain. Why can't you do what you're supposed to do? You're making $170 million a year. You know what I mean? We don't have a dog on that team.
Right.
That's the problem. And
we had
one. And guess what? He probably clashed with the slackers. That's probably
only wolf can't be around all the sheep.
No, they cannot. And there you go, John. That's the problem. Because he came in, look, yo, man, listen, going to the club, I don't care you dating Kim Kardashian. That don't mean nothing to me. We need you to shoot the ball. Here, pass it to him. He passing it back. Come on, man. You need a dog. We don't have a true leader.
Listen.
If I'm on the team, why do I have him beat at the top of the key shooting 3 balls? I mean,
somebody got to shoot him. Ben ain't. Put Ben on the block.
Dude, if he don't have a mid range game, he damn sure ain't gonna have a turnaround.
But
He ain't
listen,
putting nobody
Greg,
on his hip.
yeah, but
He's
Greg,
not
this is
doing it. The problem with
Greg.
Ben Simmons is he was bigger than everybody his entire life, so he didn't have to work.
Kwame Brown.
Didn't have to work.
That was Kwame Brown.
Right.
Brown was bigger than everybody.
He was bigger, he was better, and he was faster. I don't need a jump shot. I'll just blow right by you. Dude, you get in the NBA, yo, man, 6'10 and 6'10 is about 20 of them dudes out there. You know what I mean? So now
everybody long now.
Greg, right. So moving forward, who do you want to see as the Sixers head coach?
Hold on. Let me hit it.
We danced around that question.
Listen,
to be honest with you, I don't have the answer.
Listen.
I want to see them. I want the candidates to come forward, and then once they do, because I don't even know who's out there. I know Fizdale's out there, Kids out there, Tyronn Lue's out there, Jay Wright's out there.
Jay Wright is not out there. Y'all want Jay Wright? He's not out there.
Jay Wright not leaving Villanova.
He's out there, man. Money. Listen. If I was Jay Wright, I wouldn't leave Villanova.
Either I wouldn't leave it. Nah. I wouldn't leave Villanova.
I wouldn't want the headache. But, $50 million.
Punch Bill in his chest. Go get the old head from Temple, man, and retire.
John Chaney.
Okay, John Chaney, man.
No, I'm
just saying,
listen, $10 million is better than $5 million a year. That's all I'm saying. So the money, it may be a money grab for him. You know what I mean? You get in there for 5 years, doesn't work out for you. You're not the coach who they thought you was. You can go right back to college and
another Power 5 conference, $18 million a year.
Go right back to a Power 5 conference. They'd be happy to have
Rick Pitino, the Rick Pitino effect.
He's good. He's good. If he wants to put his toe in the water, I wouldn't.
But he did. He did it when he was young too. Pitino and Calipari, they did it when they were young.
Right. This guy's a little older. He may be the next Brad Stevens, man, for all I know. Nobody ever heard of Brad Stevens. You seen him out in Butler. You know what I mean?
Great move by the GM. Great move by the GM to get him. Definitely.
Great move. But he was out in Butler. Butler's what, mid-major?
Yeah.
Mid-major.
Made 2 Final Four runs. They said maybe this guy can coach. Yeah.
Look, this guy's smart.
Sometimes all you need is an interview. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know who they should get. I'm
gonna tell you who they should get, Greg. I'm gonna tell you who they should get. You don't like it. They need to get Jason Kidd because reason why the Sixers need Jason Kidd because he is everything that you would want out of Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons is going to respect this man on a different level that he's going to respect any other coach. Period. He's watched this man play at the highest level when he was playing. Jason Kidd, nobody was better than Jason Kidd after after Gary Payton was on his way out. Nobody was better than Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was at the highest level and the best point guard in the NBA for at least 6 years. We know he played longer, but I'm talking about being the best point guard. So easily the respect level is going to be there. But like what I said in the group, this is someone that couldn't shoot coming into the NBA.
That's true.
Jason Kidd couldn't shoot the three. He couldn't shoot.
Connection there could be.
This man could not shoot the ball. So, and everybody knows that. And now he's what, top 15 and threes made in the NBA history. So this is a big thing. You know what I mean? This is big. Like this man could not shoot the ball. So he learned himself on how to attack. I'm not going to shoot, but let me get to this rim.
Here's my thing with
we got some shout outs too.
Oh, shout him out.
Miss Y Ma Hey Now, Miss Naja.
Hey now.
Holly Rosendale.
Hi, Miss Holly.
Miss Miss Danielle Crusoe.
Hello.
Rocky Brick. Dougie Fresh, Doug Scott.
Doug Scott. Come home. Come home, Doug.
Pam out in sunny Palm Springs, California. How are you? Erica Young, West Virginia State University. Miss Shelley Blackstone, Shakar Smith, Rob Atteen, Christine Brookbank Swider, Mr. Raymond B. Coles, Shane Blunt, Dan Flanders, Miss Allison Bay, and Miss Therona Bush, beloved Cowboy fan.
Oh,
Thanks
love them.
Sorry, Greg.
Gonna be a long year, but go ahead. No, you know what, Jonathan? Here's my thing. The best players, the above average players, the best players tend not to make the best coaches. You
Correct.
know,
Correct.
it's the reason why I don't know what the reason is. I mean,
Well, to
maybe
me,
go ahead.
to me is more IQ. That's why I'm saying Jason Kidd has
He
the
does have
biggest IQ in his
yes,
area.
yeah, he had
So
to because he played point guard. I agree
to
with
me,
that, but
it's more IQ, it's more floor general IQ, which Jason Kidd has, which is why Tyronn Lue can be an okay coach, which is why Mark Jackson can be an okay. The IQ of certain point guards to me is different, and I feel as though even though Jason Kidd was a top point guard, he wasn't a loose cannon point guard. He wasn't a score first point guard. You know, like somebody like that y'all had. What was his name? The point guard y'all had. He might be a good coach. Can't remember his name. He played a couple years with y'all though. He was
You talking
older when
about
he
the
came.
kid that played out at Utah with Rick Majerus and them that went to make was Rick Majerus at Utah?
No, he came. He played a.
come on, Eric Snow.
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. He barely played. He only played a couple years on. He played with Iguodala time, and he was scoring too much points.
Andre Miller.
Andre Miller.
Andre Miller. I
Yep.
think he could be a good coach. I think Andre Miller could be a good coach. It's IQ that I'm seeking, and I think he could be a good coach. And he played a couple. And I seen Andre Miller score 30 points with y'all one night. I said, what the hell is the Sixers doing? He's a 16 and 12 player. Like he gets 12 assists and 16 points. Why are you scoring 30 points with the Sixers? That was crazy that night. But he said that's what needed to be done. But I think Jason Kidd IQ is what will make him a good coach. You know what I mean? Right now he's just seeking to be a head coach. He wants to be where he's at. You know, he's at the Lakers. He thinks it's time they come at the Lakers. But if Philly can give him a shot now, he'll take it now.
Oh, of course. Of course he would take it. I mean, like, yeah, it's like Mike Brown's floating out there. I mean, so you go down that alley. I mean,
No,
Well,
I
they
don't
still
think.
got to pay Brett Brown and Tyrone Lue wants $7 million a year. They saying on the street, so it may
Listen,
be Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd is the one that you it's all about Ben Simmons. Either
Yeah.
trading, the
he's
next thing
got
is gonna
Yeah.
be about Ben. Period.
he's
Either
got
trading, you keep him. That's the only coach I feel Ben is going to respect because of his body of work. I don't feel like he's going to respect you get a rookie off the street, you get somebody that don't know this and don't know that. Ben is someone that quits on you. Ben will quit on you. Ben will not play. Ben will not practice. Ben is different. I think you need a Jason Kidd to really unlock everything about this man and
the
really sit
problem
him
with him
down.
is listen. The problem with him is he's been coddled his whole life.
Correct.
Let's keep it being. He's a kid, right? So and now instead of waiting to he gets to that year of free agent, we're so concerned whether or not he's going to leave. Let's free him up.
Yeah.
He's been coddled, and I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of coddling these kids. Listen, you got a job, right? Now he's got guaranteed money, and there's only so much they can do with you. You know what I mean? You can't cut them, you can't fire them, you can't do any of that thing. But guess what? We can trade you. That's what can happen. And don't think it can be done or can't be done because it can be. Right. It's not a threat, but this is the things that I need you to do. If you're not going to do them, then here's what the ultimate result is going to be.
Right. But what I'm saying is to avoid that. Even if you said that to that man, I'm leaving come free agent. I'm leaving. Like you're not gonna talk to me like that. I'm leaving come free agent time. I'm out of here. What I'm saying, hold on, let me finish real quick, Greg. What I'm saying is I'm leaving come free agent time. I'm saying that conversation can be exactly that, but not that coming out of Jason Kidd's mouth. When they go talk, when they go have dinner, just them two. The conversation can't be exactly what you're saying, but it will be put to him in a totally different talk, a totally different phrase, a totally different. He won't feel that way. Like, oh, you really gonna talk to me like that? You really gonna disrespect me like that and say, oh, we'll get rid of you tomorrow if you don't shoot a jump shot? Like, it can be.
No, you can't say that. But I'm just look what happened to Brett Brown. He's sitting there trying to be this kid's. He's a kid.
And look what happened.
He's a kid, right? So he's a kid. So you can't. So that's not gonna work. So I mean, for me, when I'm coaching kids and things of that nature, and they're aspiring and going to high school and playing college and so on and so forth. So it's nothing wrong with a little chewing out. It happens. Well, if you want to go listen, if you want to go somewhere else, hey man, the door's that way. But here's what I need you to do. Because if you can't do what I need you to do, then what's the point? We're not going to win.
certain kids you can't talk to like that, though, Greg. It's not gonna
So,
happen.
so
Like certain
guess
kids
what's
gonna
going to
shut down. He quit in
happen?
college. We seen him quit in college, Greg.
Right. So
You
he's a quitter. So we
no,
already
he's not a quitter. That
he's a
doesn't make you a
quitter.
quitter.
He's a
You can't
quitter.
talk to certain kids a certain way. You can't talk to
Okay.
certain
Like,
Greg. They can talk to me different than they get. The cop can talk to me. From what I heard got from you today, the cop can talk to me different than he can talk to you and get a different income outcome. You can't talk to certain people just a certain way. It's just the way they're going to absorb it. They're going to absorb it different. That's just what it is. You
So
can't
you're
talk to
so
this.
so you're one of those people who
One of
take
those.
one of those no people. It's not derogatory. It's not what I'm about to say. It's not even derogatory. You're one of those people who thinks the grass is greener on the other side. So for me and where I sit at and what I'm trying to do, right? I can show you better than I can tell you because what you're going to do ultimately is run into a brick wall because you're like, you know what? I can roll. Yeah, you can. I'm gonna go somewhere else, take my talent somewhere else, and then wherever it is that you go, and then you fail to meet their expectations, what do you think's going to happen? So it just reality just has to smack Ben in the face.
well,
He's a great player, no question about. He's an above. I ain't gonna say great. He's an above average player, but you're not doing the things that we need you to do.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
one of the things you look at, I think what Jonathan's trying to express is the '90s Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson talked to Michael Irvin different than he talked to Emmitt Smith, because if he talked to Emmitt Smith the way he talked to Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith would go into a shell. He would close up. He
Right.
wasn't that, Mike. You just get raw and greasy and blast him on the sideline. But he couldn't do that to Emmitt Smith. And Jimmy Johnson was a psychology major too, so he knew he couldn't talk to
Okay.
Emmitt Smith the same way because different players, different play. Terry Bradshaw the same way. Chuck Noll was in his. Mm. But
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
When Chuck Noll, he said, I did better with a pat on the back. He said, like, Chuck Noll was like, I mean, he said, but then, okay, all right, and that's a whole uh, different story. But before we get out of here, I think we need to take time and take a moment to talk about a great loss, not in the world of acting, but also just in the world. Chaz Boseman, the great actor who played Black Panther. He played Jackie Robinson in 42, played James Brown, lost his battle with colon cancer. And a lot of people didn't even know he had colon cancer. It was a 4-year battle. When he found out 4 years ago, he's at stage 3. Progressed to stage 4, and he lost his battle, I believe, yesterday to that. His family had released. And I think he was a tremendous actor. He played some great roles, but if you ever hear him talk and speak about his work and performance and what he put into it and how he related to people, everybody said he was just a tremendous person as well. Moving forward, two things: the 42 performance, Jackie Robinson. Found out why my grandmother wasn't a big Phillies fan. If you saw that movie, 42. That's why they made a lot of things clear. And of course, the legendary Black Panther, Marvel comic, Wakanda. And I think
His
it's
last thing was 21 Bridges.
yeah, 21 Bridges. That was good. We watched that with Jonathan, and I think what really resonated with a lot of people was the Black Panther character, Wakanda, an African American superhero that we didn't see much, growing up on a big screen, on a big worldwide production stage. And I think for relate to that because I know growing up being in the comic books and the ability to see yourself, Duke's enjoying a drink, um, seeing you to be able to enjoy yourself, see yourself on the screen was a big thing. I mean, growing up reading comic books, whatever, and I was a big fan of Iron Man, and because in the comic books, Iron Man's best friend, Don Cheadle's position, War Machine, was from South Philadelphia. So as you're reading the comic books, you're like, wow, South Philadelphia, the brothers from South Philly, that's right around the corner. And Iron Man had some issues with the bottle, and he jumped in the Iron Man suit for a few issues. So Iron Man was a brother. which was totally exciting to me. Which at the time 7-Eleven had Hero Cups, the Hulk, Iron Man, whatever Marvel, and I grabbed the Iron Man cup, and nobody could drink out that thing, like but me, because Iron Man was that cool. What do you guys thought on Chaz Bowman? Just a tremendous loss. And I just want to say also, I got to get mine, get those colonoscopies. When you get to hit a certain age, we're at that age, and I got to get mine. I got to figure out what to do, meet with my primary, and get that scheduled. But just your thoughts on Chaz Bowman and his impact.
Oh
Yeah, it's
man,
tough. It's tough when you see folks pass at that age.
43.
And then not knowing about his illness. It's just one of those things. You see it all the time. F cancer, man. It's something that we need to get our arms around and see if we can fix that. It's just you just kind of shake your head, man. Going too soon. You know what I mean? He was a young man. 43. That's not a lot of time, but like they say, we don't know the day nor the time. So just fortunate enough to be able to watch his work, and he'll forever live on the screen. But it's tough, man. It's got to be tough for his family and things of that nature. But just a sad day, man. Just a sad day.
definitely a sad day, man. And to me, it was like as soon as he was like, I know he's been doing work. He's been doing work for a while, but to me, it was when he was cracking into that big league. Where what I'm saying is big leagues. I'm saying like the Denzels and the Will Smiths and Jamie Foxx. He was just like starting to hit that surface, and he was just getting there. Like and to see him going, like I was really a big fan of him, and to see him going, it was like really it really hurt me last night when I seen it we see most of the stuff through Facebook, so when I seen it through social media last night, it was like, wow, what I mean, like this man, I just was watching him, I just telling everybody about this movie 21 Bridges, you got to click on it, like, and it was definitely big. Definitely was a little blow to me, and I go condolences to his family, and everybody out there.
Well, for me, if you listen to some of the people that came before him, man, it's like paying it forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who better? Who better was ready to take that baton from the Samuel L's and the Denzels, and the Sidney Portiers. It was him.
Right.
He was the guy. You look at the versatility from the Five Bloods, the Black Panther, 21 Bridges. You saw this bigger than life actor that was coming and was like destined to probably be around for decades, right? And it's very unfortunate that that all that was cut short. And then one of the hardest things for me a lot of times is we've all been around people that pass away, right? um I think the part that probably hurts more than anything is some people pass that are beautiful souls. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then you start asking yourself, damn, like why them? Because they are just truly great people. Forget about what they do. And if you hear people talk, that's what they talked about him, where they were like, man, he just brought so much positive and so much beautiful energy. And that's the part for me that's, as great as an actor that he was, man, it's just like you hear people talk about just how much of a beautiful soul that he was.
Yeah.
And that's the part that ends, but also lives on,
Right.
And as far as, he was married, and to find out that he didn't have any kids, it's just like, where's the next? Because that's what it's about when you have children. It's like, okay, I'm leaving me behind when I go. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any kids, but he does have his, the spirit of his presence as well as his, what he brought to the entertainment business. And I was reading that he was diagnosed in 2016, man. Um, I'm just thinking about, like, somebody diagnosed you with cancer,
Stage 3.
age 3, right? You put out some of the greatest movies during this era. Black Panther was put out while you were going through your surgeries and chemo,
Right, right.
The Five Bloods, you were going through all this stuff while you had cancer, stage 3, which later
21 was last year. 21 Bridges was last year.
which later developed stage 4. So it tells you about, I think, more about him in terms of persevering and just living to what you wanted to do until the day you died. So it's sad, happy for him in terms of, what he had a chance to show us, in such a short period of time.
Yeah,
man,
43
so
years.
God bless, and his spirit lives on. Well, he's one of those generational guys that just, he did it in so short of a time that we're still always going to talk about him, And I'm going to end with, like, 2020 really, really sucks. Ooh, really, man, really. Kobe and Chad, and it's just
Countless others.
Corona.
Yeah.
It's like it's enough. I'm waiting for this positive energy to come and just put us on another plane, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And they said when he did Jackie Robinson, baseball players said all the athletes was there, different athletes, all different sports, and they said he was the one. He said when all the lights was on him, for the picture, everybody was looking at him and talking to him, and he said, "Listen, I'm the one starstruck. Like, I can't believe I'm around all these people." He said he was the most humblest person they ever met, man. That was big. Where though you could shrug your shoulders off these people, like, yeah, you play ball, but everybody worried about me today. But he was more worried about everybody else. That was big.
Yeah, definitely. Tremendous, tremendous guy, going way too soon. And what we can learn from him is, I think, one of the things that, look, go all out in what you do, because you don't know how long you're going to be here. Just be careful what you say about people. You don't know what they're going through. People were questioning his weight loss and stuff like that. Was he on drugs and stuff? And just, keep stuff to yourself. You don't have to tell everybody your business, too. Like, keep it with dignity. And he didn't want anybody feeling sorry for him or all this other tributes or anything making it about him. Even when people were questioning, was he on drugs or whatever, he could have easily look, I got stage 4 cancer. That's no. Yeah, I don't. Nah, that's not. I'm going to be me. I'm going to stick to my dignity. I'm going to stick to my humanity, and I'm going to live the way I've lived to the very end with my morals and respect. And on that note, great show, fellas. Definitely another one for the books. Sports Talk Live for the culture. We'll be back next week.
With a police presence.
Yes, definitely. Let's make that happen. Definitely. I would love to have that conversation. I'll reach out to Dominic to see if he's available. We can come from multiple angles.
I got two cops. I got a detective and a regular cop.
Okay, definitely. And look, I got a lot of room on Zoom. We can have a big conversation. Definitely. And I got a lot of room on here. We can an open, honest conversation. This is where it can happen. Sports Talk Live for the culture. Well, everybody, y'all enjoy the rest of this weekend. And make sure me and Jonathan are going to try some double IPAs from Vermont.
I bet y'all are.
We got these Superfly cigars here, too.
Yeah, so
hey, man,
we're going to do some things.
I don't have a jealous bone in my body. Y'all don't invite me to these things, man. I feel like the little kid.
I'm here right now. I don't know if you can hear the echo, but I'm here.
Yeah, Jonathan's in.
I saw you put that the ranch. Did you put that fake 49er sign up?
I like the ring.
All right, man. Talk to y'all. Peace. Be safe out there. All right, man. Peace and love. Hair grease. We out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to tip and stone, get us familiar with coming back to the ranch. That's all. Yeah, when I seen him, man, I think